After Thor was killed while fighting the serpent, Tony Stark began distancing himself from everyone. Just one day earlier, he had been in Paris helping evacuate the people who had been turned to stone. But Tony couldn't stop thinking about everything that had happened. While Odin prepared for Thor's funeral, Tony stood alone on top of a building, watching the sunset. Then, the All-Father appeared behind him. Odin told Tony that everything was ready and that he should be at the funeral. Without turning around, Tony said he still had work to finish and that Thor would understand. Odin admitted that Thor probably would, but he insisted that saying goodbye still mattered. Tony became angry. He activated his Uru armor and fired everything he had at Odin. Then he charged at him, calling him a monster, and demanding to know why he hadn't stopped all of this if he was truly a god with unlimited power. Odin slammed Tony into the ground. He told Tony that he had always believed him to be the smartest human alive. Tony should have realized that Odin had come personally because he wanted to show him something. Odin lifted Tony up and asked him if he understood how insignificant he really was. He told Tony that he had watched him his entire life. He had watched everything Tony had done, just as he had watched countless souls being born and dying while entire worlds were created and destroyed over and over again. And compared to all of that, Tony was nothing. Odin slammed him down again, mocking Tony for thinking he was the center of the universe. He called him a worm that had only just managed to lift its head above the ground and was already starting to think about the sun. Odin grabbed Tony's face, pulled away his helmet, then, for a brief moment, he showed Tony the true scale of the cosmos, making him realize just how tiny his problems and his ego were compared to the universe. Odin then asked him one simple question. Out of this entire universe, what can you actually control? The experience was so overwhelming that Tony's human mind couldn't handle it. He dropped to his knees and began crying in fear. For the first time, Tony had nothing to say. He finally understood just how small he was compared to the universe around him. Then Odin released a massive wave of light that seemed to cover everything. And suddenly, all the people who had been turned to stone were brought back to life.